All right, let's do this. We are diving into Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power today.
Whoa, this is a good one.
It is, and this one, it's all about those strategies for power, right? Like those power dynamics we see in history.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Distilling them down, which
And
is,
from some pretty big names, too.
oh yeah, heavy hitters.
So what I'm thinking is, for this deep dive, let's look at a few of these laws.
Okay.
Because I gotta say, some of them are a little bold, let's just say that.
Right.
But maybe, just maybe, we can find a way to make them work for us.
Okay, I like that. But I think it's important to clarify right away
Go.
what we even mean by power here, because Green, he's not necessarily talking about like dictators and all that.
Right, not just about ruling with an iron fist.
Yeah, exactly. It's more about the ability to get what you want, to influence situations, and to just navigate the world, with more agency.
Okay, so not just about being the boss then.
No, no, not at all. Think of it more like, oh, I don't know, a toolbox. And this toolbox, it's filled with some pretty, potent tools.
Okay, powerful tools. Gotcha.
Exactly.
But like with A and Y tool, it really comes down to how you use it, right?
Precisely. That's the key.
All right, so let's crack open this toolbox, shall we? What's the first law that jumps out at us?
Well, we could start with Law 1. Never outshine the master.
Oh, this one is so real, especially in the workplace.
Oh, it's everywhere. It taps into this very human thing.
Right.
Like, even going way back, those close to the king or queen
Oh, yeah.
had to be so careful not to make them feel threatened.
Yeah, like imagine having the most brilliant idea, but presenting it in a way that makes your boss feel like, wait, why am I even here? Not a good look.
Exactly. So what we can learn from this is that, making your boss look good
Right.
can actually be more beneficial in the long run than just showing off.
Interesting. So it's not about dimming your own light, but more about shining it in a way that, like, eliminates your boss.
Perfect way to put it. You got to be strategic. How can you frame your ideas so they highlight your boss's strengths?
I like that. Subtle, but effective.
It can make all the difference.
Okay, that one's a little subtle. Let's move on to a law that's a bit more, shall we say, direct. How about Law 15? Crush your enemy. Totally.
Whoa. Okay, yeah. Green doesn't hold back on this one.
No, he doesn't. It's pretty intense.
He's basically saying if you're in a truly cutthroat environment, anything less than completely wiping out your opponent
Whoa.
could come back and bite you.
It's giving, like, scorched earth vibes.
Right.
But does it always have to be that literal, like, complete annihilation?
Not necessarily. You got to think outside the box.
Yeah.
Let's say you're launching a new product, right? And a
Well,
competitor comes out with something similar.
happens all the time.
So crushing them here, it could mean like a super aggressive marketing campaign to just dominate the market.
Right.
Or maybe finding a niche they missed and focusing all your energy there.
I see. So it's about being decisive, thorough, not just in business, but maybe in our personal lives too.
Oh, absolutely. Like, think about breaking a bad habit. Are you really all in on getting rid of it, or are you leaving that door open just a crack?
That's a good point. It's about commitment, going all the way.
That's it. You got it.
Okay, let's switch gears a little bit to something a little more philosophical.
Yeah.
Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. This feels kind of stoic, doesn't it?
Oh, it definitely has roots there, for
Yeah.
sure. The idea is if you're constantly dwelling on stuff outside your control,
Yeah.
you're just wasting energy.
It's like that feeling when you've been working towards a promotion and it goes to someone else.
Yeah.
You can get stuck in that disappointment.
Right, but what if you use that energy differently? Like, maybe you didn't get the promotion because you need more experience in a specific area. Now you know exactly what to focus on for next time.
So disdain doesn't mean giving up. It's about shifting focus to what you can control.
Exactly. It's about being strategic with your energy, not letting it get sucked away by, all those what ifs.
That's a powerful way to reframe it. Now, this next law, Law 48, assume formlessness.
Ah, yes.
Sounds a little mystical, What does it even mean to be formless? It's like something out of, I don't know, a martial arts movie.
Well, there's a reason for that. It's all about being adaptable, like water.
Okay.
You want to be able to flow into any container, adjust to any situation.
So are we talking about being flexible, going with the flow, that kind of thing?
Exactly. Look, the world is constantly changing, right? Technology, markets, even just daily challenges.
Right.
If you're too rigid, you're more likely to, snap under pressure.
Okay, that makes sense. So being formless is about being resilient.
Think about the companies that last for decades, even centuries. They're the ones that can adapt, evolve, embrace new ways of doing things.
So if we can do that too, become more adaptable, open to change.
It's a huge EE advantage.
Right, so formlessness isn't about being wishy-washy. It's about being strategically flexible.
Yeah.
Like a martial artist using their opponent's force against them.
Exactly. Always observing, assessing, adjusting your approach.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's like instead of blindly following the rules, we're encouraged to, really think about it,
Yeah.
analyze each situation, and then apply these principles, but in a way that, aligns with our own values,
Right.
our own goals.
Exactly. And that is what true power is all about.
Right.
It's not about manipulation or controlling others. It's about understanding, having influence, and using that to make positive changes in the world.
So it's not just about, climbing the corporate ladder or always winning an argument.
Right.
It's bigger than that.
It's about using what we learn about these dynamics to actually do some good.
Okay, so bringing it back to the 48 laws of power and what we're talking about today, we've only just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But I think we can already see how these principles, sometimes a little edgy.
Yeah.
They could be really insightful.
Oh, they are.
It's like we've been given this secret decoder ring, right?
Mm.
To understand all those hidden forces that shape how we interact with each other.
It's true.
It's fascinating and kind of empowering, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. But it can be a bit daunting, too, It's
Yeah.
like, remember, these are just tools.
Right.
And any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So wielding this knowledge, you got to do it ethically. You got to think about the consequences. What could happen if you use this the wrong way?
It's like we've been handed this amazing map, but there's no moral compass included.
Right.
We have to bring our own.
Exactly. You have to know yourself. If you don't understand your own motivations, your own biases,
Right.
then you're much more likely to misuse these laws.
That's so true. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the strategy, the game of it all,
Oh, yeah.
that we forget to ask, what am I even trying to achieve here?
Mm-hmm.
And is it worth it?
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Power can be very seductive.
Yeah.
It's easy to get lost in that pursuit, to lose sight of what really matters.
It's like those stories where someone makes a deal with the devil for power, but then it destroys them in the end.
Exactly. It consumes them. Greene even talks about this, the darker side of these laws.
Yeah, and I think that's important. It would be irresponsible to act like these laws are all, sunshine and rainbows.
Of course.
They can be used to manipulate, to control, to hurt others.
Absolutely. Which is why we have to engage with this stuff thoughtfully, critically,
Right.
with a healthy dose of skepticism.
That's a good point, skepticism. Because thinking about these laws, it seems like so much of it comes down to observation.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to read people, read situations.
It's crucial. You have to see those little dynamics, the subtle things, understand what's motivating the people around you.
It's like before you can even use any of these laws, you have to first figure out what the unspoken rules are.
Exactly. Like imagine you're walking into this high-stakes negotiation, right? And you have no idea how to read the room. You miss all the cues.
Going in blind.
You're going to get eaten alive, basically.
Right.
So yeah, those observational skills, they're everything.
So we have to become like social detectives, always looking for clues.
I like that. Always gathering information, piecing together the puzzle.
Yeah, figuring out why is this person acting this way?
Yeah.
What are they really after? What's their agenda?
Exactly. And then, maybe we can use that to our advantage. But ethically, of course.
Of course, of course. Because remember, it's not just about winning at all costs.
Right.
It's about using this knowledge to navigate the world, but in a way that aligns with our values.
And hopefully to create a better outcome for everyone involved.
Exactly. Power doesn't have to be this, zero-sum game where there's always a winner and a loser.
It can be about collaborating, finding common ground, using your influence to make a difference.
I think that's what Greene is really getting at, isn't it? He wants us to understand these laws, not so we can become master manipulators, but so we can move through the world with more awareness, more agency.
Integrity.
Right, exactly. This has been really eye-opening. It's not about becoming some Machiavellian mastermind.
No, not at all.
It's about using this knowledge about human nature to make things better.
That's the true power of the 48 laws. It's not about getting ahead. It's about making a real impact.
And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive. After this deep dive, I'm really seeing the 48 laws of power in a new light.
Yeah.
It's not like this ruthless handbook I thought it might be.
It's definitely more complex than that. The point is to understand how power works, but to use that knowledge, well, carefully, ethically.
And I think that's what we should take away from this whole thing. We've just scratched the surface.
Yeah.
But even these few laws, they really make you think.
They do. It's like you're getting these new lenses to look at the world through.
Oh, yeah?
And suddenly you see these power dynamics everywhere, but, it's up to you how you use those lenses.
That's a good way to put it. So if anyone's interested in what we've been talking about, I say go check out the book. The 48 Laws of Power. Dive in.
But be critical, Don't just take everything as gospel. Question it, analyze it, and most importantly, think about how you can use these ideas, but in a way that matches your own WN values.
That's so important because real power, it's not about, manipulating people or climbing some ladder. It's about understanding yourself,
right?
Understanding the world and using that knowledge to actually make a difference.
And sometimes, that difference might be something small. Like handling a tricky situation at work better, or finally kicking that bad habit.
Or building better relationships.
Yeah.
Becoming a stronger leader, or even just, understanding human nature better.
Exactly. There's so much you can do with this.
It's pretty amazing. That's what makes the 48 Laws of Power so interesting, don't you think?
Definitely. It's a classic for a reason.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our deep dive. But hopefully this is just the start of everyone's own exploration,
Absolutely. Go out there, observe, analyze, and remember.
Yeah.
Power, when used wisely, can be a force for good.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.